A missile fired from Russia takes just 45 seconds to reach the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. Here, sirens blare every few hours. Residents are spending more and more time below ground, where they feel some sense of safety. But how much longer can life go on like this? Kharkiv is Ukraine's second largest city. It's just 30 kilometers from the Russian border. Air raid sirens are part of everyday life. Russian missiles, drones, and glide bombs fly continually over the city. Sometimes they're headed further inland, but often Kharkiv is the target. Missiles fired from the closest border town in Russia can strike the city in less than a minute. Alina is one of many war widows in Kharkiv. Her husband died on the front line. For a long time, he was considered missing. It was months before his body was identified and a year before his remains could be brought to Kharkiv. Along with this box.
This here is very important to me, this sweater. I haven't ever washed it. Whenever I'm feeling down, I wrap it around myself and feel him close to me. The brigade also gave me the flag that was on his coffin.
Alina is a primary school teacher. The schools in Kharkiv are closed because of the war. Authorities say that some 360 schools have been destroyed since Russia's full-scale invasion. There are now 6 underground schools. They're not nearly enough to accommodate all of the children in the city. Pupils can only attend lessons once a week. For Alina, teaching is an opportunity to forget about the war, for a little while anyway.
Let's smile, kids. These children see the war every day. They've been here since the beginning. Some have lost their fathers. Others have fathers who are fighting on the front line. It's okay to talk about these things, but I don't like to dwell on them, because I want the children to experience joy and love here. We try to focus on positive emotions. Yes, we're living in a war, but we need to have a positive mindset and have faith in the good. Yes, we've got our very own world here, a school, a children's world.
Still, there are plenty of reminders that this situation is far from normal. The ground shakes when the subway trains roll past. There are no windows, just artificial light. And these posters on the walls offer child-friendly instructions on what to do in case of a missile attack. School time also gives parents a little respite. They never could have imagined that one day their children would be attending classes underground. In another underground school, the children play music. And they dance. They've gotten used to the war. And some, like 11-year-old Miroslava, are stoic in the face of danger.
No, I'm not afraid. I used to go to a different school, right across from my house. An attack sent shrapnel flying into the library. It was loud and I heard everything because our balcony overlooks the library. I'm not afraid to die. I've been fine up to now. If it happens, that's how it goes.
But here, below ground, they feel safe. Whenever there's a bomb attack, the children are taken to a specially protected shelter.
Whenever it's really loud and there's a bomb attack in the city, we all go into this room. Normally, this is where we have concerts, movie nights, or discos. Excuse me, I'm just showing our little hideaway. The disco takes place here, and we drown out all the noise from outside. The children don't hear anything, and they can just have fun. Dancing, singing, nothing else matters. And when it's all over, they just have one question. When can we dance again?
Every day, some 1,000 children attend one of Kharkiv's 6 underground schools. It's a huge challenge for the city. Today, we're meeting Ihor Cherechov, the mayor of Kharkiv, in his bunker, which also doubles up as an office and operations center. He tells us the underground schools were simply a logical response to what began in February 2022.
When the large-scale invasion began in 2022 and the city was attacked, the first thing we had to do was find shelter for residents as quickly as possible. I decided to close the metro stations and use them as bunkers. So the metro system functioned as a shelter for several months. A total of 160,000 people lived in the subway stations. And of course, they needed supplies, medical aid, places to sleep. Children needed to be entertained and looked after. Sanitary facilities had to be provided with showers and warm water.
The city council is currently setting up a subterranean hospital, and other underground schools are in the pipeline, even an underground recreational park. Does this mean that Kharkiv is turning into an underground city? The mayor doesn't see it like that.
No, Kharkiv won't continue to expand below ground. Of course, you're right that Russia will always be on the border with the Kharkiv region, and we'll always have to live with a certain threat. But that's why efforts are being made around the world to finally attain a stable peace. We need clear guarantees that this will never happen again, that there will never again be war in Ukraine.
It's a yearning that's echoed across the city and the country as a whole. The sirens are blaring again. The longest state of alert in Kharkiv lasted for 36 hours. It's almost unbearable unless it's countered by something beautiful, like culture. Miroslava's mother, Antonina Radijevska, is the prima ballerina at Kharkiv's largest theater. Despite daily attacks on the city, she's not stopped dancing since the war began.
If all the artists were to leave the country, which is a real possibility because we could all find work in Europe, but if we all left, who would be here to boost the morale of the people? Who would bring some joy to their lives? I see it as my duty. And many other artists who have stayed in Kharkiv think the same way.
Now, when the oldest theatre in Kharkiv puts on a show, the stage is underground. An old warehouse was repurposed for performances. All the shows sell out. Today, Antonina is performing the role of Snow White.
Very happy just to see, yes, this view.
How long haven't you been to the theater?
Nearly 3 years.
The situation is not very good for us, but I'm proud of all of people who is going to make something like this, because it's very important.
Backstage, the war is never far from the dancers' minds.
I live in the northern district of Saltivka. My house is on the outskirts. There are Russian tanks stationed just 1 kilometer from our house. Once we were on our way home when the shelling started, but we survived. All the houses around ours were burning, but we survived. So when you hear the sirens, don't be afraid. Don't hide. If the world needs you, you'll survive. That's how I see it.
Many people in Kharkiv seem to share her view. They appear unfazed by the sound of sirens. By now, it's nothing new.
I think we're just so used to all the sirens and air raid alerts, and we have news on the phone, so we check if any missiles coming into the city. So I guess we'll check right now. If anything coming, we're gonna go into the metro and stay there for the time. Keep safe. Yeah, we have channels in Telegram where people send messages if anything coming to the city. So technically we're safe a little bit, but not really. A little bit, yes. But yeah, it's better to stay in metro. But we're going to Nikolsky right now. Maybe we'll stay on the first floor in the basement.
We go along too. A Russian attack can happen anywhere at any time. Even though they're difficult to predict with absolute certainty, many strikes target places where people gather, like schools, hotels, or shopping malls. That's why this shopping mall is gradually relocating below ground. What used to be a parking lot is now filled with mannequins and changing rooms. It's a popular place among teenagers.
I
think it's a really good idea, because safety comes first. And it's very safe down here. And overall, it's fun to spend time here. There are a lot of cool people. The atmosphere is nice, the people are cool.
Before the war, we'd hang out in the park.
Gorky Park, Shevchenko Park.
Unlike in many other cities in eastern Ukraine, few people fled from Kharkiv when the full-scale invasion began. Many young people still live here. For them, culture has remained as important as ever, even if it looks different now, says Oleksiy Mikhailov, director of this cultural center.
There's always the danger that bombs or missiles could hit our city. To protect people, especially at events like these, it's definitely safer to organize them underground. That's our reality.
As life carries on below ground, above it, the death toll is rising. Once a week, Alina goes to the cemetery, where she's gotten to know other war widows.
I always talk to him here whenever I'm struggling. It always makes me feel better. I'm so glad to finally have him back here. Our little son doesn't come. He's not ready. More and more women are coming here. We all share this pain.
Anastasia's husband, Ihor, died a year ago. Today it was especially important for her to come because it's her birthday.
He always said everything will be okay. It will never be the same, but I promise it will be even better.
And she believes that, still, despite everything. Like many in Kharkiv, the widows are determined to stay strong and remain in the city, even if that means going below ground.